Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we have an amazing episode with Lala Kent on her Give Them Lala podcast because she has a special guest this week, and guess who it is? It's Brynn from RHONY. I'm so excited. So let's get into this podcast, but first make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time I post a video or go live. All right, there's a lot to this. Here we go.
Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the Give Them Lala podcast. I'm somewhat freaking the fuck out. Yes, you know. The signature giggle, laugh, voice, all the things that just like made all of us fall in love with you. I have Brynn Whitfield from Real Housewives of New York. I was telling you, Brynn, I am very, very picky about who I have come on the podcast.
Yeah. I
have the team sending me people all the live long day. I'm like, I'm sure they're interesting to a lot of people, not to me. I've had one person, I've had Stassi. So you're my second guest, and I'm honored to have you.
Oh, boo boo! I'm so thankful to be here. It's like she's like the cool chick in high school, like the kind of scary one that you desperately want her to like you. Like that's you. Like I'm the one that's honored.
That's so crazy because that was not the actual reality.
Really?
Of me in high school. No.
You seem like you would have been like the Regina George, like the most popular, the most beautiful, but kind of intimidating, scary. Like girls wanted you to punch them in the face. You know?
Not at all.
No?
I was actually the theater geek who was like getting finger banged by the head of the football team.
Okay, more,
and that's about it. That's as cool as I got. Was oh my god, it was a finger.
You got
speaking of finger banging, that's also the best. I was just having a conversation with this last week. That's like the best, most underrated.
If they're good at it, it's the best, right?
So do they have to be good at finger banging? I think finger banging is one that you don't actually need to even like be a specialist.
No,
it's just
I
like
feel like you gotta be good.
It's just like
No, you don't have to be good. You just show.
It's not. Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was gonna say it's not the same as a hand job. Where like a hand job, I feel like it's about how they like to do it, and there's like a thing and there's stuff and whatever. Finger banging, I think, is just more like how quantity over quality. It's like
really? Oh, I totally disagree because that could hurt. If I'm fingered aggressively, done, I'm passing out.
So
I'm like,
there is
if you're doing a good finger, it's like clitoris. They're getting around.
I like how you say that. Clitoris. Can I get it in a sentence? Can you give me the root of the word? Clitoris. See? You say it's so cute.
But that's good to know. So you're not picky with the fingers.
I'm not picky with the finger. I mean, okay, it's more so like I just love the fact that you can do it anywhere.
Oh,
you know,
so fun under the table.
Yeah.
That's the hottest thing. I once dated a guy in Venice. He was crazy.
Like Venice Beach or like actual cool Venice?
No, like Venice, nice Venice.
There we go.
Expensive Venice. And I remember I had on these like this cute Mara Hoffman like jumpsuit. He's like, hang on one second. He goes down to his garage, comes back up with these scissors. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I knew he was really intense, but I didn't get it. Pulled out the pockets, and I think cut the pockets out of my jumpsuit. And I was like, this is Mara Hoffman's sample sale. Like, this can't be created. And he's like, no, it's so I can finger you at brunch. Which he did at the Rose restaurant in Venice. And I was like, I'm still in love with that guy. I texted him this weekend. I'm like, hey, I'm in town. You know, and he's like, nice to hear from you. I got the hope you're doing well text.
Oh, like I'm married with 4 kids now, babe.
The vibe, like he's dating someone. And he's like, hey, thanks for the invite. Can't do it. I hope you're doing well.
By the way, give it a few months. They all start creeping at some point. I don't want to be the person they're creeping with, but like they all start to stray.
Don't
all right?
they?
Where he's going to be hitting you up and you're going to be like, I'm good. I saw you on Instagram.
Right. The second that you like, even like energetically or anything, you move on. They all just come in. Like they can sense when you're happy.
Yeah, what is that?
And then they want to ruin your life.
And then they do, because then you catch me in my closet in the dark with my vibrator.
Wait, have you used your vibrator in secret?
So when I would see that dudes were sliding in the DM and I knew I couldn't respond, it was so sexually frustrating that it's like, oh, and then when the Ring cameras went in, it was like, now I'm really fucked. Where am I supposed to do this?
Ring cameras ruined it for all of us.
They really did,
can't even masturbate in the privacy of my own closet. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so I have a couple episodes ago, you spoke about swallowing and you were like, all you have to do is like gag on the dick.
Oh, yeah.
So
BJ's.
the BJs.
Yeah.
So I was talking to my mom and my best friend.
Where's this going?
I want to know. I want to know your thoughts.
Yes, okay.
So my friend asked my mom, are you a swallower?
Yeah.
And my mom was like, no, I never swallowed. My friends told me that cum has way too many calories.
No.
Do you know anything about this?
She's fit. She cares about her fitness. I
Does
like
she
it.
though? Because
She's like, I'm on keto, sweetie. I can't. No. I need the. No, I don't think it has calories. And
sodium, right?
Maybe a lot of sodium. I do. So here's the thing. I've only swallowed. That's how I know that I like someone.
Is if you swallow it?
Yeah.
I mean, I used to be a freaking gangster.
Really?
I used to like give the BJ,
Can't wait to hear.
swallow, and then grab the bottle of vodka because naturally I
Yeah.
would have that near my bed at this point in time, and chase it with like bottom shelf vodka.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's hardcore.
I used to be a bag of fun. Now someone puts that thing near my face and I'm like, I kiss my child with this mouth. Get it the fuck away from me.
I had a guy friend who told me we were telling like or sharing like our stories. He was like, "This is the creepiest thing ever." He's like, "Don't ever do this." He said a girl gave him a blowjob, and she's trying to be really hot, and I guess she like had it in her mouth, and she goes like, "Watch this," and winked, and then gargled. Yeah, gargled it, and then like, and he was like, he just told it. He was like, "No one should ever do that ever."
That's
ever.
disgusting.
Right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's like a bad porno.
could you imagine thinking you have like a party trick, and then it's like just
falls
it's
flat?
actually just
I think it's also a teeth whitener though. So if you swish it around a bit.
I feel like men made that up. I don't know
men
if
made
it's,
that up.
men
They're
made
also
that
like
up.
a man was like, it cures cancer. if you
Yeah,
swallow
it
it.
cures cancer. It's great for your skin. It'll make you
yeah,
look
put it
so
on
much
your skin.
younger. Put it on your face.
Breast
It's
milk
like
is good for your skin. Breast milk literally
I
heals,
heard that.
heals shit. Like
Mhm.
I was
Like,
at a wedding once,
yeah.
I scraped myself and my friend's like, just put some like, and literally the next day it was fine. It literally cures like
That's very true.
abrasions and things, and it's great for your skin. And,
Right.
Yeah. Not semen. See, they lie to us. It's
They
us,
lie to
not
us.
them. It's always us curing
Of course.
the world.
Yeah.
It is.
And
Every
cancer. It's not
time.
them. It's not them.
No, but that is true with the breast milk because when I was pregnant with Ocean and my skin was freaking out, I would just literally just like squirt a little on
Yeah.
my finger and put it on and it like helped a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
That's
See?
I'm going to
amazing.
see if I can squeeze some out a little later, like if I have any left over because I'm suffering from a breakout. So I have so many questions
Okay, let's
for
go.
you.
Let's go. Let's have at it.
First of all, I want to know, because we were having this conversation before we started. I want to know what you're driven by.
Personally, me, what I'm driven with my life.
Yeah, I mean, we just learned that you were in a pre-med student.
Yeah.
My mind cannot even grasp that at all. Like you
Yeah.
throw me into the wilderness, I'm fucking surviving,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You throw me into a college and bitch, I'm running.
I think at this point, or in 2023, I feel like the wilderness would be actually more useful. I don't know. I've always just answered to myself. I think that my grandmother raised me, but she wasn't hands-on. You know, like we've canonized her into a saint. I think my brother and sister and I, but she wasn't by any means perfect. She had a lot of shortcomings, and staying on top of us, or if you had your homework done or anything, wasn't in her repertoire. So like she sat down and taught me how to do her signature so that she didn't have to sign papers and permission slips and things like that.
Oh,
She couldn't be
wow.
bothered. So she wouldn't show up to our games. She'd get mad at us if we didn't, hit a home run, or she was very tough on us. So it was more so like I had to kind of like create rules for myself and like what my expectations were, and I had to do it. I don't know. Like I don't know if something inspires me more so it's just like I just don't want to be lazy. I don't like lazy people.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what drives me.
You know, some people are like, I'm driven by the amount of Instagram followers I have. I'm driven
Shoot
by
those people.
money. I'm
Right.
those people. Are,
Yeah. I think in a way I'm driven by money. I think up until I turned 30 and I started my own company, I honestly, if you had asked me, I was like, a junior vice president or whatever, I was in my 20s. And had you asked me, I was always worried that I was still going to work at McDonald's. I literally would go or see McDonald's. Like I could still end up there. Like it was always Chicken Little. And it's only taken me the past several years that now I finally don't have that feeling anymore of like, I could be poor. I might have to go back on welfare. I might have to do something like that. Like that was always in me. So I was scared. But now I don't have that. I can honestly say I don't have that feeling anymore. And now it's like I've read all those books about manifestation. I've done everyone from like Abraham Hicks to Eckhart Tolle to whatever the Tony Robbins guy. I've done all that stuff. So now I do believe like you are your thoughts. You create everything. Like what's for you is going to come to you. Now I subscribe to all that Venice shit. I picked it up when I lived in Venice.
Yeah.
So now I'm just more like, it's like I'm scared of nothing, and I've had so much fucked up shit happen to me in my life. I was telling someone, I was like, I'm fucking bulletproof. Like I'm unafraid. Like I'm literally. David Goggins says this thing. He's like, when the devil goes to sleep at night, make sure he's looking under the bed for you, and that's how I live. And I'm like, no, the devil's scared for me because I've dined with the devil. Like I picked up the tab. Like
Yeah.
So I'm like unafraid. Like I think that's like my superpowers too. Like I'm just like I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I mean, I do and I care. I'm not one of these like I don't give a fuck bitches, but I'm like, there's something in me where
It's
like
confidence.
it's confidence, but I can be I don't have confidence all the time, like it's just I don't know. It's just this thing where like I'm not. I think is the worst things in life that could have happened to a child or a woman, and like there's 10% of my life I've shared on the show to date. Everyone's like, oh my god, your story. I'm not giving other people my full story. That's my story, and I'm going to share it over time. But I've only shared 10% of what's happened to me in my life. I've had the most fucked up shit happen.
I
to
have
me.
chills right now.
My love. I feel like that's why too, even like how we've known each other. I've always picked up that from you. Like you've like been through shit too. Like I don't know. I just feel always like you're kind of the same. Like I don't know. I've just felt that connection always to you.
I can't imagine though with what you went through because I had the luxury of growing up, and so did Easton, of two phenomenal parents who loved each other, who there was never any pressure. Whatever we wanted to do in life, we could achieve. And if we didn't go to college, no big deal. If we didn't make a lot of money, no big deal. Like they just wanted to see us happy and healthy, right?
Yeah.
So we did have that luxury that not everybody has.
Yeah.
There are things that have obviously happened in my life that have shaped me. And I personally have said, I'm bulletproof. Like you cannot take me out. If this didn't take me out, nothing will.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, as we talk about that, is it the experience or does that come with age?
I think it's getting both. I read somewhere the answer is always both. For a good question.
I like that. I love the gray.
Yeah. It's always, I think it's a little bit of both. Definitely with age. I thought I was confident. I thought I knew everything in my 20s. Now in my 30s, it's just crazy, whether it be life or my own self-confidence or how I'm with men. I'm like, I was so like, not like I love, like each age I get older, I'm like less dumb and I feel better about myself. And I'm like, oh, this is easier. And shit kind of goes into perspective. But I think it's also, it's not the experience. I think it's just getting through having the experience and then not like dying or failing, or even sometimes when you felt when like I feel like I wanted to do that. Like I think getting through it and saying, whether like for example, if it's like a breakup or if it's something, anything or a family or death or something, and you're like, you were scared of that thing happening. You're like, oh, we always say, oh my God, if a plane goes down with all my family in it, I won't be able to live.
Right.
And I've said this too. I love my brother so much. And I remember one time I was talking to him, just thinking about, I was like, well, if you and my sister and grandma, if you guys all died, I'd kill myself too. I can't live after that. He goes, no, you'd be sad for about a year, but then you move on because you have to. And now I feel that way. Like, I don't know. How to
I'm
explain.
so like on your page. It's so crazy because as you're talking, it's when my dad passed. I, as a child, used to lay in bed, and this is not normal for a child. And I would
be
listen.
Like, and imagine how sad you'd be, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I did that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And listen to Celine Dion, some song about like saying goodbye when your mom dies, sobbing as like an elementary school student.
I listened to and I know you're shining down. And I would lay in my bed and think about my grandmother dying because I loved her so much.
And you're like, how will I
so sad.
function?
And sometimes I think that it's been 2 years, and look, she was 82, and it was fucked up what happened with my family and stuff with her. They cremated her against her last wishes, and then now
that is devastating.
Now she's in a
Brynn.
storage unit, like
a storage
yeah,
unit.
they refused to bury her. It's fucked up. That's a whole nother thing. But that's my family. But like I was always so scared my whole life about she's gonna die, and I would like premeditate. I did it with my dog too. I was like so sad before it happened. And I think sometimes the reason why I'm still like having trouble, like, speaking sometimes about her, and like a lot on camera too. For some reason, the cameras fucked with me, and having to say things on camera, having to say my grandmother's dead, I would start like just bawling, crying.
Yeah.
It made it real. I think in my self-preservation way, I just go about it and I tell my story, and I'm a publicist and I can narrate things, I can speak. But then all of a sudden, there was like in the confessional, they're just like, so tell us about Mimi. And I would just like start shaking. I was like, get away. Like, I was like, fuck off. I'm not talking about it. And we had to keep doing confessionals. And they would wait the questions at the end. And then finally, I'd take like 3 shots. I'd be like, come on, you have 5 fucking minutes. And I'm like, and it's so crazy because they're all weirded out because it's me for like, hi guys. I'm like, wink. And then I'm like, Abe. And then I was just like, go answer the question. You have 5 fucking minutes.
Like you'd make it,
I'm
they
like,
see a version of you that they're
and
not
everyone's,
used to.
and then they're like, get her out of here. Like, and then I would just be like dark for 2 days. Like, it was just very, but I would do the same thing that you did as a kid. And I think that's one of the reasons why I think is like, not glorifying it, but what's it called when you build it up so much in your head. Like, I'm not saying we're not as sad as we are about parents dying.
No, but you do find a way to move on. Can I ask you, do you believe in God or a higher power?
Yes. Yeah. I grew up very, very Catholic, but I've fallen in love with a lot of different religions.
Okay.
I've dabbled a little bit of Islam. I've tried to convert 3 times to Judaism.
Wow.
Yeah. I love religion. I think it's beautiful. I think everyone's an idiot because we're all actually praying to the same shit.
Right.
And it's all the same, but then there's like, we're all fighting over it, but it's all the beautiful parts of it. We're all wanting the same thing.
I feel the exact same way. Easton and I grew up in Utah, so religion scares me. Spirituality and like the talks of God
forced.
or a higher power. It felt very forced to where it kind of turned me off.
Right.
But I also think that leaning into that when you actually do experience loss, instead of it just being something you're imagining, like when this happens, I'm done. Let's call it a day. It happens. And then for me, God has a very strange way of helping you compartmentalize. And I'm not saying everyone is like this, just personally.
Yeah.
If I can lean into that, there is a way where I can remember, my dad the way he deserves to be remembered, and I can move on with my life, yet still have the most vivid, like I remember every wrinkle. I remember the way his hands look, the way his hug feels.
Yeah.
And I can only attribute
Write
it.
it down Write it down. When
Oh,
you
girl, I
remember these
did.
things. Yeah. When they come up, little things. Keep writing them
Any
down.
sayings.
Yeah.
All of that
The little
stuff.
things, because you start to like, so many memories have come up over the past 2 years. Little things about her house or her hands or how she would touch something, and I was like, where did this memory come from? And I don't know where it came from, but so therefore I don't know where it's gonna go. So I want to keep it. So I always write them down now, and I have like this long list of just the things she used to do, how she used to snore, how she used to lay, all these little things. Yeah.
I love that you do that. I love that you call your grandma Mimi, because that was our grandma. Her name was Mimi. And
Really?
Yes. And
my God.
it's so cute. And just when you talk about her, and I know what you mean, where you're like, I know that this person wasn't perfect, but she was my Mimi, and she took over in a time that was like, you were a little baby. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this part. When she said, you go to medical school to marry a doctor. First of all, who's getting into medical school to where they would even have the option to marry a doctor that way?
Seriously. No, I remember I wanted to be a doctor my entire life. I just studied as a child nonstop, anatomy, physiology. I would watch like cardiac surgeries. Like, I don't know how I got my hands on videos. I had a little white robe that said Dr. Brynn on it. I would do every book report in school about Dr. Christian Barnard. He was a South African doctor who did the first human heart transplant. Dr. Ben Carson, I loved him, and not, politically now later on in life, but I loved him. He did the first brain transplant. I was obsessed with becoming
You're
a doctor.
fucking smart, dude.
Yeah, I love listening to you.
I was obsessed with being a doctor. I go to Purdue, and I went to Purdue because it's a good science school. It's like one of the top engineering schools. So I'm like, I'm going to learn. I fucked myself over because I was competing with people who are now working at like SpaceX and they're rocket scientists. Yeah. I'm smart, but I'm not like fucked up. Like, it took me, I had to study for the sciences of those things. I was a mathlete when I was in elementary school. I loved math. I can't even add now, but I wasn't as good at science. I got really in my head. I was with a very unsupportive boyfriend who basically was like, yeah, I don't think you can do it either.
What?
Yeah, he was the worst. And then I remember I called my grandma and she was like, oh, honey, she's like, it's okay. You don't go to, just go to marry a doctor. Like, her biggest thing for me would be, to this day, I would think, like, if I married a doctor. Because in her generation, that was, like, how you made it as a woman, like
marry the doctor, marry the lawyer.
Marry the doctor, the lawyer. And it's like,
Mhm.
oh, he's a lawyer. He's a doctor. Like, it was a very, But now I'm like, Grandma, come on. Like, he IPO'd his last company. A doctor. Just get a doctor.
What would she think about you doing reality TV?
She would love it, and it's I'm gonna get choked up. She would absolutely love it. So another thing that wasn't maybe the best, she didn't like. Mimi wasn't a cultural like she didn't like to leave her house a lot. She sat in front of a TV, right, a lot, many hours per day, to the point where like she was one of those types. She'd fall asleep in her lazy boy recliner, and if you tried to move the remote or turn the TV off, she'd be like, she'd wake up out of her no, don't shut it off. Just nonstop, that TV was going on and on. So she was obsessed with television. And one of the reasons why I did this show is because I was like, if there's fucking heaven, and if there's a fucking TV in heaven, then she can watch it. Because, like, there's one thing, like, not being the president of the United States, nothing. Like, being on TV, she would have understood that. Like, she loved TV. Too much, probably. It was weird. Yeah, she did.
We all relate here.
It was the whole, because, Midwest, it was like she just sat in front of the TV all day long. And it was like the Today Show, then this, then that, and then the 5 p.m. news, and then Oprah, and then the 6 p.m. news, and Everybody Loves Raymond, and the 10 p.m. news, and then I Love Lucy, and all the sick. And it was just, the TV was on nonstop coming up, and we couldn't walk in front of the TV. You couldn't do anything in front of the TV. So TV, she understood that, so she would 100% understand, and she'd be so happy.
That makes my heart and soul so warm for you.
Agreed.
And we're all so grateful that you decided to do it.
Yeah, right?
So speaking of like the dating and marrying of the doctor, are you dating anybody right now?
I'm dating no one.
How do we feel about that?
I'm okay with it. Okay, actually, I'm great with it. The only issue is I want to have a baby, and unfortunately, I need balls with sperm and stuff in it. So, and I need I'm not at the point yet mentally where I've seen with my friends. I have a couple friends who are single moms, and I see how hard it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I know me, and I know how I get about, like, when I had a dog and, like, even going to the vet, I wanted that person, whoever I was dating, there with me to take care of the dog when I was upset. I'm not comparing dogs to babies, but I
think that's a totally fair.
I want a partner. Everyone's like, yeah, but what if you just, like, what if you do really, really well with work or something, make a bunch of money, you can just have nannies and stuff. I'm like, no, I think I want someone, for once in my life, I want to be able to be, like, not the weak one, but I want to be, like, I don't want to do it on my own. I've done everything on my fucking own, and if I'm going to have a kid, which is it's the thing I'm going to take most seriously in life. Like, I'm going to have a kid, and it's going to have, like, the best childhood. I'm going to be the best mother. Everything that I didn't get, I'm going to give it to them. And so I want it to be perfect. And in my mind, in my old school mind, it's like, I do want that person there. I want to be able to lean on them. I want mommy and daddy in bed, and I want them to, like, jump in bed with us. Maybe it's irrational, or it's not realistic, and I won't get it. But I think I'm still at the point where, like, I'd rather not have it than not have it the way that I want it.
I have this conversation with my friend Katie all the time, and she craves having a family over having children.
Oh, I never thought
So
of it that
she
way.
said, if I don't have a partner, then I don't need kids. I want a partner to create a family with.
I'm like, someone articulated how I feel. I couldn't put that's it. I want a family, not necessarily kids. Yeah.
Totally. And
okay, that's it.
that's what you want.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I obviously felt that way before I had Ocean, right? And
Yeah.
now the universe and God worked in tandem to put me in a different place than I expected myself to be in.
Yeah.
And now I just crave having children. But I also have the luxury of my mom picking up her life and moving to LA to help me with my
nice.
daughter.
Oh, that's so nice.
So
Yeah.
in a way, I feel badly calling myself a single mom or even trying to relate to actual single mothers, because I have such a gang of support that I'm like, true, like, single parents, single mamas,
Yeah.
like, those are superheroes. I can't even imagine.
You're a superhero though too. Don't cut yourself. I mean, like, that's amazing. The fact that you can even, like, think of stuff like that is, like, speaks to your character. That's incredible. To be able to say, like, you are technically, legally, or, like, objectively, by the state of California, a single mother, right?
Right.
So, but that's incredible for you to say, I'm not going to even claim that because I know I'm so blessed because I have people around me helping me and I have community and I have my own mother and I have.
Of course.
That's incredible for you to say that. Like,
well, I think it's important when you think, and I think that's what my mom taught me, is like when you think you got it bad, girl, there's people who have it worse and they're picking up and moving on and living life.
Yeah.
So figure it out.
You can always find someone. That's what my grandma said too. She'd be like, you can always find someone who's got it worse than you. Like, and that's the truth.
When you go out to like find a dude, do they have to be in a certain tax bracket? Do they have to be rich?
They don't have to be, but I very much prefer it. I have always been unapologetic about like this. It blows my mind. Okay, I grew up poor. Why would I want to be? People say like, oh, money can't buy you happiness. Yes, it fucking can.
I fully disagree. Every time people have said that, I'm like,
yes,
I fully disagree.
Yes, it can. Mind you, it can't buy you certain like it can't, but it can buy you. Vacations, therapists, spa, whatever, everything that you need, help, nannies, whatever, to take the burden off. Like, can it literally just buy you straight up happiness like it's a vending machine? Of course not, but nothing can. But I've been poor and I've been rich, and let me tell you, it's way better being rich. I think it's like people someone wants to keep people stupid and keep them down and keep them small. No, so I don't have any, and I'm realistic. Like, I know how much children cost. I know how much when I had my dog, how much that cost. I know how much children cost and private school tuition. Again, the way that I want to, dance lessons, gymnastics, that shit costs money. All the shit I know how much because I didn't get to do any of it, So, and I was told the reasons why and the exact money cost. And I sat there and I did my little math and so I know exactly how much everything costs. So I want the family. So I've always been very unapologetic about what I'm looking for. Obviously, if someone's amazing and great, it doesn't matter. But I a lot of the times, call me crazy, but money is associated with ambition. Now, if you're a trust fund kid, that's different. But, in order to make money, keep money, grow money, to me, that shows a proof of concept for like intelligence and ambition and drive. And it's like that Lil' Kim song, like, ambition makes me so horny. I love ambitious men.
I do too.
Like, I love, like, powerful, strong, smart, ambitious men.
They're hard to come by.
They're hard to come by in LA, and that's one of the reasons why I moved.
Really? Tell me more. Tell me more.
I lived in LA, and I bounced back and forth after college between LA and New York for jobs. And pre-COVID, 6 months before, I was living in Beverly Hills, and I was engaged to Gideon. Then I moved to my own place in Beverly Hills. Then I moved to Venice. And after 2 years in Venice, I was like, I have so many hundreds of friends, but I feel lonely. Because LA can be a lonely place if you don't have like, you're driving in your car a lot. It takes like 3 months to make plans with friends. And if it rains, everybody cancels. If there's no valet, everybody cancels.
Totally. Valet, I cannot parallel park for
my
shit.
fucking friend lived like,
It's the first question. Do they have valet?
She's rough.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, I don't have a lot. I have so many friends, but I wouldn't see them. And then I would just go on these dates. And then I even turned into the person I didn't like. I turned into a flake. Like everyone, it is very, I will say this, it is very different dating in New York, and it is better. I'll give you, we're a lot of flakes here, and everyone's like writing or doing something or finding themselves. You can date someone for several months, and like, I met a guy's parents when I was practically like, living at his place. And then I was like, yeah, well, this is my boyfriend. And he's like, whoa. I was like, are you fucking kidding? Like, your mom just texted me this morning.
Right.
Like, what, And then I did the same thing to someone. And I was like, whoa, now I'm turning into the thing that I hate. Because it's so easy here. And everyone's hot. And everyone has like a cool car. It's just, yeah. But in New York, everyone's dating with more of a purpose. Where there's kind of like the expectation of, this is how it goes, or if we move in together, there's an expectation. There's more accountability there. Mm-hmm. It's a totally different dating scene. I much prefer New York.
Wait, do I need to like pack up my life and move?
I'm telling you, it's like, so I say New York and LA. New York is like the chick you marry. She's like ride or die. She's classy. It's amazing. And LA is your side chick. It's like, you tend to
I don't want to be a side chick.
But it's like, it's more temporary. It's more fun. It's more like you look better here. It's like, it's exciting. It's whatever. But LA is more like people, it's just a different mentality. You settle down. If you really want to find a man, you go to London. It's like fucking fishing in a stacked pond over there.
Wait,
the
really?
ratio of dudes to women, I don't see women there. You don't see them. We're like 30s in London. Like literally.
I'm packing up my kid
and they're all wearing
finding
suits.
her a
they have cool
stepdad in
accents.
London.
They're super chill. they almost vibe like English dudes and like UK dudes. They kind of vibe like black dudes, where they're just like real cool.
Done.
Yeah,
That's all I had to say.
Yeah. They're always like, they're like, girl, you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of how UK is, but they're like, girl, you crazy. Like, that was a bad British accent, but they're chill as fuck. Like, they're chill. They're like, they think they just drink pints and like they're cool and they're pretty hot. The accent's cute. And they all like real jobs and they wear suits.
That's super hot.
Yeah, we should go to London.
Where did you meet Gideon?
Gideon I met in New York.
Okay, and he lives there?
Yeah, he did live there when we met, and then he moved to LA, and then I moved to LA with him. But then we broke up. I lived in Venice, and then I've moved back to New York since. But he lives in LA now.
See, I feel like for you,
I'm gonna set you up with Gideon.
Oh,
my
that would
God.
be really bad.
Why?
I think I would be a little too much for Gideon.
Here's the thing. No. If Gideon was good for me, Gideon would be perfect for you then, because we're kind of the same, you know.
But you're like pulled together and like sexy and fun, but like use big words and like pre-med student. And I'm like, listen, I went to Slick, Salt Lake Community College. Most of the time I'm just in a hoodie.
Shut up. No,
You know?
he's good with, I've learned, he's very good with his mother, whom I adore. You have to find a guy that's good with their mother. That's one of the first questions I ask on dates too. What's your relationship like with your mother? Obviously there's situations like me, like I would hope no one would hold my biological mother situation against me. But for the most part, you can tell with a guy if he's like, yeah, I like her, or like she drives me nuts, but I love her, and I always answer phone calls. I'm like, if he's good with his mom,
I'm gonna need him to say I don't fuck with my mom at all, because there can't be two moms involved. Because
yeah.
I got my own main bitch,
Oh,
my own main mama. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
need you to not fuck with your mom that much, because my mom's gonna be like living with
The
us.
one that's
and-
Do you think you can maybe ever find someone who had that? Would you be open if their mom was cool? What if you could have like two? And what if your mom then could have like a grandma
No,
friend?
by the way, if I find a dude who loves his mama and our moms love each other and we can punt them into like the pool house or something.
Yeah.
They can live together.
Yeah.
And then we can have like the big house.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because my whole thing is I want to have like a compound and I want Easton and like the gays to move in, and then like my dude who has a cool mom and like maybe his family want to move in. Like come one, come all.
Oh,
Let's
that's
just
sweet.
like create a pod of orcas.
Yeah.
And just thrive.
I have a couple crazy wealthy girlfriends in New York, and they're like, should we just like buy a Hamptons compound and we all live there together and then we all have babies together and raise them together? Because we're reading
Where is
articles.
this group of women? Where do I find them?
And I'm like, you come hang out with us. But they're like kind of honestly thinking about it. Like one of them's like, well, my parents will just like give us one of their houses. And then we're like, should we all as women, just could you imagine 5 women, then we all raise our kids together in a little, it would be
Brynn, it's my dream.
It would be nice because whenever we're together with the kids, we all naturally like, like, oh, like the kids cry, and then I pick him up, then I feed him, and then we pass. It just happens organically.
That's like biological too. That used to be. That used to be how it was. Way when there were like nomads, but it was tribal.
Yes.
All the women took care of each other's babies.
Yeah, they like breastfed other people's
They had
kids.
babies at the same time.
Do you know that even though if you haven't breastfed, if there is an infant in here and you put it on the floor, okay, and it's crying and it just laid there, even though I, for example, have never breastfed before, within 8 to 9 hours, I'll start lactating.
Stop.
Because the baby gives off a pheromone, it's in distress, and if your body can do it, it will start doing it. We're animals. It's incredible.
That's beautiful.
Isn't
I have
it?
chills
Wild.
again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Maybe, but who's tested this though? I read it. But like, who's tested that? Like, let's put your baby in the middle of the floor and like cries and to see if my nipples hurt.
But
Milk comes out of them. Like,
well,
but I believe it.
no, I believe it too. And
Yeah.
also, because I had the luxury of breastfeeding as well. I've had a lot of luxuries in life.
Oh, I love that you recognize. You see these things that most people say, "Oh my god, I breastfed ahead," and you're like, "No, you had the luxury." You're very grateful. That's a good thing.
What is the dynamic like? So obviously for me, when you guys stepped onto the scene, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to take a RHONY turn.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous because I had watched the OGs on my TV for so long, gone back to Peacock or Hulu when Housewives was on Hulu,
Yeah.
and watched the most throwback episodes. So like the OG cast was in, I think, everyone's mind. I'll just speak for myself right
Yeah.
now. And I was like, a whole new cast.
Yeah.
I don't know about this. In fact, I actively told myself I can't cheat on my OGs.
Oh yeah.
And then obviously I caved.
Yeah.
Like day of. I didn't even have to wait. It was like, it's on tonight. I'm watching. And immediately fell in love with actually all of you guys. There wasn't one person who I was like, this feels forced.
Yeah.
There were so many natural, like for me, it felt like you guys had been on camera for 100 years.
Really?
Yes. How did it feel for you?
It was awkward. It was weird. I mean, I got it it came to me so haphazardly. I just had wrapped up at a tech company here in Culver City, actually. I was coming back and forth to New York. I was like, okay, I'm in a position where I can take a year off from work for the first time in my life, and I'm just going to like travel and chill. The economy was about to tank. So I was like, okay, I'll start looking in spring for a new job. And I was in south of France, and I get this DM from a casting company, and it's like, they're like, hey, we're at the Real Housewives of New York, we'd like to talk to you. And I thought it was like a scam, you know, like a crypto scam or one of those things. I'm like, okay, sure, you
Check
know,
the profile.
because they like went to my spam because I was on private. I had like 3,000 followers or something, and I was like, what is this? And then there was a couple more messages, and then my friend Savannah, she messaged me. She's like, dumbass. She's from the Delta, but she lives in New York. She's hilarious. She's like, dumbass. They're trying to contact you for the Housewives. And I was like, what? Like, I'm not, you know, I'm not some like rich Mrs. Bloomberg or something, you know, that's like bored. Like, what do they want with me? So I did a few interviews. All of mine were Zooms. I did 3. Yeah, no, it was like two or three. No, 3 Zooms. I did.
Did you have to dress up in a gown in one of them?
No. But they did say like, oh, can you just like set up the camera so we can like kind of see some of your apartment? But I've obviously watched. So I was like, oh, I got this. And I have like a decor and whatever. So I like put the thing, and like I'm in marketing. I was like, I'll just make it look, this will be funny. But each time I didn't think I did it because I was like, oh, this is going to be very funny to tell people like, oh, do you know that I interviewed Housewives? And like, here's how it went down, you know? And I thought that I'd meet Andy, but I didn't even interview with Andy. Everyone else had to. I didn't. And,
Really?
Mm-hmm. I didn't even go into 30 Rock. It was all via. I give good Zoom.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's rare. Not many people do. The moment I see Zoom, I'm like, you got to get me in the room. I do my best work in the room.
And I remember at one point too, they were asking me, so what do guys like dating? And they're like, what do guys like tell you? Is there any sort of like theme you always see? I was like, I don't know. This summer, every guy that I meet is always like, you know, you remind me a lot of Alexis from Schitt's Creek. Because my stories are always like, well, one time I was on a boat with Leo, and then we were like smoking cigarettes, and he told me I was pretty. You know, like I have the most random, like, and then I got kidnapped by the North Korean army. Like I have like random, I have the crazy shit that's happening. People think I'm always fucking lying embellishment. I'm like, no, I loop my stories to make them not sound so crazy and fancy. But there, a lot of men were telling me that I remind them of Alexis, and so they laugh. And then I was like, and I love the song A Little Bit Alexis.
It's
and then
so good.
I know the routine.
I'm a Lamborghini.
Yeah, I start doing the routine in my Zoom interview for Housewives. I was like, I'm a Lamborghini on a huge jet. I'm single, even though I'm not. I was like, just a little bit, la, a little bit Alexis. I did the whole thing. And literally they were just like, can you start tomorrow? And I was no, they didn't say that. They called me the next day. They called me the next day, though. But I was like, yeah,
So
sure.
funny.
And then I thought it and then when I got it, I was like, okay, but I still can't do this. This is crazy. And then you read the contracts, you know, and you're like, because technically you do, it's like a typical video. It's like if someone has to sign a video release form anywhere, if you're filming Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, it reads intense, even though it actually turns out that it's not. But I'm sitting there with the contract. I'm like, am I really going to do this? Am I going to do this? And I was like, fuck it. Like, who cares? And if it blows up my face, because I love the old women too, not old, but like the original, the OGs. Right. 1 through 4, I own on my TV. I still rewatch it all the time. I think it's fucking hilarious. But I just thought, but you know what I kept thinking? I was like, I've worked in this industry for a long time. NBC, you know what? And this still like gives me hope. NBC, when you have a company like NBC, Universal, or Bravo, they're so big, they're not going to fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I've always felt with working with my large CPGs like Johnson & Johnson and Unilever. You always have the backing of like, is this good? Is this going to work? Or like, they kind of can't fuck up. I'm sure they all have.
And what they touch turns to gold.
Yeah.
It's just they have an eye for it, and something that like I don't have that gift. I don't have the gift of being like, this is going to translate perfect on TV, and then putting people together. And did they ask you, like, do you have any friends? Or did they have like the lineup of chicks that they were meeting
I
with?
knew Jessel, and I knew Sai from working with her, and I knew Uba from seeing her a few times. But I knew of Jenna. I didn't know Erin. And so no, it's just like when they were putting it together, it's crazy. Like, as we're filming, and you get so close because you're filming every day, and I mean 90% of the stuff that we film they don't show. But we realized there's so many times, even to this day, we sit back when we're all in a good mood and not fighting with each other, or like they're fucking geniuses. Because like all the things like how we each had lost our mom. Like when we start filming, I had just lost Mimi, but I was like deep in grief. It was like 18 months. Sai had lost her mom that summer. Jenna had lost her mom like 3 or 6 weeks before, 3 weeks before we started filming. Uba, also very close to her mother, had lost her mother 12 years prior. Erin's relationship with her mother, and then Jessel's mother relationship, there's that lovely. So it's like we all have these maternal mom stories and bonds, but there's like 30 things like that we all share. So like but it all came out like slowly, and it's just they're literally like geniuses. They're
geniuses.
Yeah, they're geniuses.
Yeah. And watching you guys, it feels like such an organic fit. And I actually really enjoy, for the most part, when women on the show get together. I'm like, bitches, start like ripping each other's heads off. Like, I'm ready for that to happen now.
Yeah.
You guys, I actually like when you have those bonding moments.
Yeah.
I was living for Uba, and I know you guys just filmed the reunion.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get you in trouble. I certainly get in trouble every other day by Bravo, so I'm going to watch my mouth as well. How did that go?
I like getting in trouble, but then I just tell them, I'm like, yeah, but I like getting spanked. And they're like, oh, Brynn.
I'm going to start using that. And they're going to be like, well, we can tell you've been around Brynn. And it only works for her, bitch.
No, and then they laugh, then they forget that they're supposed to yell at me. But your question was, what about...
Was the reunion, was it intense?
So the reunion, I went in there thinking, honestly, leading up to it, I was so nervous, and I was like, I felt like I was going to like a funeral, like a family funeral, like half the family didn't like each other or something. I was really, really nervous going into it, like physically kind of sick, and like I had anxiety the days leading up to it. And again, I had this like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm a grown-ass woman. Why am I signing up to go sit in a fucking dress and in a studio and talk about, I was like, this is, like, I'm a sane person. This is dumb. So going into it, look, I was sober the whole time, the entire time. I was like, can I please have a drink? Can I please have some mushrooms? I was like begging.
Mushrooms?
Yeah. I turned to Andy. I was like, can you just microdose me? He's like, I can't. I can't do that. And I was like, oh, come on, just like a little bit. You know, just a little bit. You know, I'm talking when we're at work. But it was, for me, it was easy. I enjoyed it. At the end of it too, I start every time that after we're done filming, especially on the trips, and the crew would laugh. Like I would do this thing where I rip off my mic and I just start going fuck, cockballs, dick, and I run around like Kevin from Home Alone, and I'm like and I'm like, you can't get me now, fuck, cock, balls, like, you know, because my mic's off. For some reason, they take the mic off. It's like an adrenaline rush, you know, because I am kind of in the back of my mind. I'm aware of it, but I had a great time, and I was like, was that it? That was it?
Did everyone else go toes?
No. A couple people exited through the gift shop immediately, and then there was like shit going down on the group text of like.
Oh, you got a group text going?
We have a group text. I think people would prefer if we didn't have a group text.
Yeah.
And the group text has been the past couple weeks. There's been some people have been like fuck, like, and the group text has never been bad. It's always been like we band together, we share pictures, we first share funny shit. But the group text in the past 2 weeks has been like, fuck you, you're a fucking bitch. Like because
you guys have seen the whole season now.
We've seen the whole season.
How many weeks do we have left?
I think 3 more. 3 more of the regular season. This is episode 11. There's 14 episodes. So we have three more regular episodes and then 2 reunion episodes.
Oh my God, I cannot wait.
It's crazy. But yeah, it's been more. Look, we all cried a lot. We did yell, but again, I was pretty like I got a lot of apologies.
Really?
Yeah, people being like I think now people, when they know me and they know that actually I'm harmless and I'm silly, like everyone enjoys me and loves me for exactly what I am. And they get me now, but I think during last year they were like, what is this bitch doing? And not understanding that 99% of the shit that comes out of my mouth is just a joke. I speak in innuendos. Like a Vanity Fair artist, she only seems to speak in innuendos. Like I speak in innuendos, or I just metaphors and analogies, and I think so. I had a good old time. I had a lot of time with Andy. I think I asked him a couple times if I could like smack him around a bit,
and he was like, absolutely.
Maybe. It was just fun.
I just grab my necktie.
Yeah, I just had fun. But I think a couple of the gals, yeah, they definitely didn't. So it was tough for some people.
Uba hitting 100 in Anguilla.
What do you think? What did you think about it?
Well, I'd be pissed if someone took my phone because I get super annoyed by things like that.
Yeah.
the fact that Aaron, my natural reaction is not to get physical, right? That's not
how I
my,
was raised too. I was raised to use your words.
your words.
You
like,
use your words.
I can cut deep as a knife.
Me too. Same. Yeah.
However, if someone snatched something off of my face, I think I would see red and I'd start swinging.
Yeah.
So I respected Erin in that regard, but Erin, and I like her. I like all of you guys actually. But watching this, it was like she's I'm trying
Don't
to
I think it's like don't start none, there won't be none.
Right, like you keep talking shit about everybody behind their back.
Yeah.
Then you're like twisting things around and then you're crying in the corner. No, you're a grown-ass woman. You fucked around. Everyone's now spoken. You're a common denominator.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about it and you don't get to cry about it.
Yeah, and you fuck around and you find out. I feel like with that too, look, I always tell her, like, leave the jokes to me. Like, I'm the prankster, I'm the jokes. Like, I just think that, honestly, I'm still to this day, and it's funny, and just as of this morning, I was on the phone with Uba. We're going still back and forth about this because every episode that comes out, it's like she rewatches it, she relives it, and she gets all worked up all over again.
Oh.
So there was a lot of text again today. Like, you know when the text is so long it goes to notes? That's what it was
Wait,
like.
no.
Oh my
No,
I've
that's
never
like
had that.
crazy
Yeah.
long.
Oh,
It's like
that's
iCloud.
when,
That's like essay.
yeah, and that's how it went today too. And it's just how I feel about that. Okay, so I feel like I think it was a dumbass joke, and I think it like wasn't funny. Which to me, that's the most insulting thing because I like humor. I'm like that's not funny.
What was the joke?
No, the joke was I'm gonna steal your phone as a prank. That's not a prank. A prank is like I bought a goat and tied it upside my friend's house in the Hamptons. That's a prank because you can't get rid of a goat in the Hamptons. You know, it's really hard. They're like, yeah, the animal control is like, why is there a goat here? You know, and you're like, how did it get behind your gates? You know, and then they get in trouble. So that's a funny. That's a prank. Taking somebody's phone is not like a prank, and then
It's just annoying.
yeah, it's annoying. I think if she had done it to me, I'd be like, dude, you're fucking lame. Like, don't fucking do that again. I'd be irritated with her. I don't think I would go again. So that I was like with Aaron. Then and I experienced this. So this is literally how I'm going. First, I was like, okay, Aaron, you're being fucking dumb, and I sided with Uba, and then but then when Uba grabbed the glasses, that's when I started to get like. Because again, I was raised, you don't get physical. And then personally, too, we're all like New Yorkers. So it's like, that's called personal property. Like, okay, I'm just going to call my lawyer, then we can figure it out that way. Like, we're very, like, that's technically, like, we get all legal and like legalese and whatever.
I would thrive in New York.
Yeah, you
Oh my
would.
God, you would. Yeah,
Yes.
you
Yeah,
would.
you
Yeah, everything, yes. So I didn't like that. But then, then Aaron gets really upset. And it's kind of like, okay. But then it just went back and forth. And that, to experience that, you guys, it was like 10 fucking hours of them fighting.
Yeah, it was like enough already. You
Yeah.
seem no bullshit. Like, are we still talking about this?
Yeah,
Squash it
and like
move on?
I just kept drinking all day, like, cause I'm bored, and it's like there's like 1942 sitting there. I'm like, I'm on vacation, people, you know. So they just kept going and going, and they're just going in circles, and like they do love each other, but I don't know. So at the reunion, Uba did clarify a couple things because Aaron kept saying it was 45 minutes. She did have her phone for like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, it seemed long.
It was a long time. So with the single girl thing, I do relate to Uba in that because it's like, but at the same time, like, but Uba, we're with the crew's incredible. We had security guards at the thing. We have butlers, we have drivers. Like, if you lose your phone or your diaphragm, like, one of the showrunners will go and get you a new one. Like, they protect us like little passenger princesses.
Totally.
You know? So I didn't like feel safe. Like, I actually like felt the most safe in that environment. So I don't know about that whole theory of like, well, single, and also what I told her I don't know if I can say this, but I've told her a lot of times, like, it's called like find my iPhone or like share your location with your family. Like there's technology like
That you can use.
solutions where you don't have to literally text your family or send a carrier pigeon to let them know where you are.
Right.
You know, like but I think she likes to check in with family. Uba is, I don't like seeing Uba get like that because that's not Uba. Uba out of all of us she's actually like the sweetest, but when she gets that mad, I think she's the most intense housewife probably on the franchise, and I've watched all of them.
I relate.
She goes there. She gets to that point, and I think for her,
She can't hear you, see you.
and people think, oh, it's because of, and she's admitted, and she said it on the show too, like, it's not because of her religion she doesn't drink. It's because she's like, she knows herself. She can't. I would never like.
I was gonna ask you about that. Does she not? Is she like that off camera as well, where she doesn't drink?
She doesn't drink. No, she doesn't drink.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's and she has like Uba. Have you met her in person?
No.
She's the most. She walks in. She's an energy field. She's like she's a force. She's larger than life in more ways than one.
Yeah.
She's just one of those people, like she walks in her room. I've been in the same room with someone like Cindy Crawford or something. You're just like, oh my God, there's like a beam coming from them. Or Charlize Theron. Like she's like a, not an avatar. She's like it's alien or something, right? And like she just emits like, she knows everyone. You can't go around New York and ask one person, they say Uba. Everyone knows Uba and everyone loves Uba.
Really?
Oh my God. More than me, more than anyone, more than Jenna, anyone. Everyone knows Uba. She gets into any private members club. She's a
freaking, I love watching her. She's funny as shit.
Yeah.
She's also so incredible to look at.
Yeah. In person, the girls, I keep telling her, I love the Uba hot. So it is delicious. It's like a dip more though, I think, than like a condiment.
Oh, I love a dip.
Yeah, I eat it. I'm like, put it in a thing. I eat it like hummus with chips. That's how you should eat it. It's not like a little
Wait,
hot
I'm
sauce.
buying this.
It's so I'll have her send you back. She would
Will
love
you
to send you
please?
back. I would 100%.
Oh, I love free
fucking
stuff.
like it. It's delicious. But I'm like, that's great. I love the hot sauce. Can you make skincare? Her skin, she's fucking photoshopped in real life. Like her skin is just black, smooth, like she's stupidly beautiful in person, and then she has this larger than life personality. Like when she enters the room, she's the most beautiful, beautiful physically, spiritually captivating person. She's just one of those types. Like they don't make them like that. You know, she's got this thing about her. It's like holy fuck. So, but the only issue is and she knows this, is that like when she gets activated, it's like you can't
talk to her.
Yeah, we were with the producers because she was so quiet all season 2, and a couple times sometimes the cameras would go and then she'd get a little fiery like that, and I was like, "Where's this Uba?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't want to get too like that." So when we came back from Anguilla and we're standing at the carousel to all get our luggage, and I see one of our producers is like not standing by us. She's so over us. She's fucking done with us.
Done.
I have a picture of her and she's like standing just staring at I'm like, yo, your luggage. And she's like, huh? And I go up to her, I go, what's wrong? You turned your Uba doll on, now you can't shut her off, can you?
Yeah.
And she looked at me, she was like, yeah. Because we all were like, come on, where's Uba at? Like, where's Uba at? Because we knew she's a little bit more vivacious, but that was like, it's rare for her. And I know she doesn't love that about herself, and that's what I talked to her about her today, because she's like, she has so many people in her family, friends. Even my nieces met her at the premiere and they're obsessed with her. She gave them her phone number. She texts with my nieces.
Yeah.
She's that person. Yeah. Like, she's like, you can't make that shit up, Like, she's one of those
She
types.
seems that way.
Yeah. And like, she's so thoughtful and so kind. And so therefore, she can get like that. She's usually good about it. And I wouldn't say she's embarrassed, but she's upset that happened, But it's human. I was talking this morning, I'm like, dude, it's human. Like,
absolutely.
Actually, I think it's more relatable, because who the fuck is like, unless you're the Dalai Lama, who's like happy and nice and whatever every day?
I related to it. Like I go from like, I'm chill, let's have the best time.
Yeah.
The second someone does something to like that doesn't sit right, you cannot talk to me until I like tornado through life.
You and Uba are exactly like in that regard.
And then once I rip your head off, I'm like, didn't that feel so good? And they're like, well, you've said the meanest things anyone's ever said to me. And I'm like, I know, but I feel so great now. Like I like you.
Yeah.
And it's a mind fuck for people.
Uba's digs won't be so deep, because I've seen your digs, and I can go where you go, where I'm like, I didn't even know that I was studying your subconscious.
I knew that you could.
But I like all of a sudden, I talked to you for 5 minutes, I undiscovered your childhood fear, and I'm going to rub it in I'm going to smash your face in it. Like because I had to protect myself with my words as a kid, so like I grew up doing that. Uba's not like that. She doesn't go, her thing is she's Tyson or whatever, she goes rounds. She goes 20 rounds. That's a long ass match. I mean, she can go round after round after round.
I tucker myself out.
Yeah. Me too. After a while, I'm like, I don't care. I'm just like, fuck it. I don't care. Fuck you. But she'll just keep going. She's the energizer. But you can't. Yeah.
Fuck. That's wild.
Yeah. It's really, really wild to see.
I love Sai. You, Uba, and Jessel, which Jessel I was kind of like, I was kind of going back and forth at the very beginning. And now I'm like,
Jessel.
Don't sleep on Jessel.
I've said since day one when we started filming, and I've said this, I called her, I remember there's this long voice note I sent her from London. I was at the Soho House, and I was like working, and I was like, I had this genius marketing idea for her and stuff, and I keep telling her, I'm like, you are the star of the show. It is the Jessel show. Jessel's the funniest person on the show. Jessel in real life she's out of her fucking mind. She doesn't even know she's on it. I mean, no, what I say, I'm like, she doesn't know she's on a TV show. Like, I think she doesn't know. She's like, hey guys, it's just like, let's do lunch. Oh my God, are you in the know? Oh my God. She'd come in and be like, oh my God, Lala, I love your podcast. Give them Lala. And she will have like never listened to your podcast, but she went on your Instagram for like 5 seconds, thinks you're fab, and is like, oh my God, you know so-and-so. I love them. You know, and
I love her.
She's so like, oh, come on. Just like, Andy, like, did you hear what she did this past week with Watch What Happens Live?
No, but you took her with you, right?
No.
Or she was on.
This bitch, Watch What Happens Live, asked her to be on Wednesday, right?
Okay.
She's like, no, I can't, Kyle. I have to do blah, blah, blah. You know, she can't do it. So then they asked me. And I was like, oh, fine, sure, whatever, I'll do it. So I do it. And I was supposed to be on with some comedian. And then they text me like 2 days before, and they're like, hey, Brynn. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, actually, we're going to have Tyler
He's hot.
Cameron Babler.
Who is that?
Yeah, he was on The Bachelor.
Oh, okay.
And he's single, yeah?
He's single, yeah. So these fuckers, the Bravo gods are trying to play Cupid over here. So I was like, I was like, you fucking devils. I know exactly what you're doing, right? So anyhow, so they're like, okay, we're going to have you on. So I didn't even know, I didn't tell the girls. I'm just like going about my day. And Jessel, I have this slot of text from Jessel. Oh my God, did you hear who you're with? I can't believe it. Literally, I'm not going to be able to sleep. I think I'm going to throw up right now. My stomach's doing somersaults. And she's having a conversation with herself. And I'm just watching it. She's like, wait. And then it's like, I see the dots. Should I come? I think I should come. Should I just say that I'm going to come? Do you think they're going to get mad at me? Fuck it. I'm going to come. What are you wearing? Call me later. Like this. And I'm just like, what just happened? So this bitch tells them she can't come, makes me take her spot, finds out it's going to be this hot dude. And then she shows up. She's never on time for shit. And Jessel shows up like 30 minutes early. Oh, hi, Ben, hi. And she's like, I was Tyler, like, you know, and then she walks, she's like, hi, I'm Jessel. Like, it's just, and then I'm standing, and Andy and I are standing there. I'm like, he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, what's wrong with her? He's like, I don't know. We're like, really, Jessel? And she doesn't get, she's like, Andy, but like, you know, I just had to like, what? He's like, no, Jessel, you were supposed to be here. You told us you couldn't do it. And she's like, I know, Andy, but like, I just have to.
And the accent and the texture of her voice just makes everything okay.
Yes.
You're like, it's fine.
That
Talk
is
to me more.
So wild how she like goes around everywhere, loves to do dinners and lunches. Like she lives in this version of New York that I don't know if it even exists anymore, but like, you know, of like the who's who and the luncheons and the things. And like, she's just like, let's do a podcast. Like, you know, like it's just.
I'm obsessed with her. And I love that she like keeps notes about what everyone's done.
Oh, that's the funniest
She claims
thing.
she's deleted them, but like
Wait, you're telling me she didn't bring them out for reunion time? That's what I thought she was keeping receipts. I wonder if she did that before she started filming a show.
She told us first of all, the note list, which they didn't include all of it, the note list was absurd. It was hilarious. It was detailed. And I've worked in corporate America, and I'm like, did you have a boss that touched you or something? Because you're really like documenting everything, like the day, the time, exactly what he did and how it made you feel and da-da-da and all the detail. She's like, well, I just want to make sure I'm good in my confessionals and I have that information. And I'm like, bullshit. Like, you don't need that. Like, you don't need that. You fucking bitch. Yeah. Like, it was like
she was writing herself.
It was like a Dear Diary situation. Like, it's like we're like an 11-year-old writing like, it wasn't like.
She gives me that vibe, though.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it.
It wasn't details like, it wasn't like cliff notes to jog your memory for the meeting of like, oh, I need to hit on these 3 points or I need to remember these things or anything analytical. And I was like, scribbles and angry stuff and like it was so but that's Jessel though. She's so funny.
It's so crazy funny to me that people, because now you've told me that she had very detailed notes. It's crazy that Uba writes so much that it goes in. I'm telling you, more than like a couple sentences, don't send it. I'm not reading it. Don't send me a voice note that's more than 15 seconds.
My phone's always on notifications. I don't like phones. I think they're like tracking devices. Notifications are always off for me. I can't stand like hit enter and just send me a block. Don't do ding, ding, ding.
That's
my biggest. Like text messages were created for if you're in a fucking movie theater or a meeting. Why are we like Charles Dickens?
Call me on the phone so we can get it done and then hang up and call it a day.
Yeah, and the voice, like my voicemail box has been closed for like forever. I always laugh though too, like then that's how people always know if I like them. If they're like, "Oh, Brynn hasn't responded to my text," I'm like, "But I respond." If you tell me something funny, I respond.
Yeah.
If you tell me like, "Oh my God, I'm leaving this dude's house," I'm like, "Drop everything," and I'm like, just waiting, you know. And you can send me paragraphs, but if it's like, "Hey, what are we doing next?" And then they correct spell. Because they said, "What are you doing?" 3 times. They misspelled it, and they
just keep doing
"What are you doing?
it?
What are you doing?" I'm like, "What's wrong with you?"
No, that's why when we were texting, because I know how annoying it is. First of all, I know it's annoying texting in general, but then texting someone to do their podcast is even more fucking annoying because I've
You guys
been
were
there.
great. You made it easy.
No, you're so fun. But that's why I was like, Jess, lock it down. Send Brynn a text.
Yeah.
It's just like, here we are. This is the time.
I
and
put it
call
all
a
in
day.
one too because that's
And
my
all in
vibe. You
one.
separate it by
Yes.
paragraphs, so it's not a whole
Yeah.
block.
If
but
she
it's
has
one
someone that
text.
wants to deal with it so she
Yes.
doesn't have to, like, great.
Just like ding, ding, ding.
So before we leave,
yes.
I do an ache and relief of the week.
Oh.
Do you want to take a beat to think of yours, or do you have your ache and relief
Ache
ready?
and relief. What's a relief?
The relief is like, so for mine, let me look. My ache is that I went to DC and
Oh.
I was with the Humane Society International for the Humane Cosmetics Act, which was absolutely beautiful, fantastic. We made a lot of progress. And I'm looking because I'm very excited for publications to pick this up. Doesn't need to have my name attached to it.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just want the Humane Cosmetics Act to be plastered everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's not coming through. But this stupid thing that I fucking said on Amazon Live about Raquel and Tom Sandoval was everywhere.
Right.
And that for me was such an ache. I was
Yeah.
like, this is annoying.
Yeah.
And I don't know why for just 1 second. You can write about that stuff, but let's also write about things that matter
Once in
as
a while.
well.
Or it's also like if I give you a bunch of stuff that people do, can you at least just do me a favor, like include something that's relevant? Well, why don't you like mix it up? Why don't you mix it up? Like do one so that they can't break it up. Be like,
Right, exactly, like
cosmetic
a run-on.
testing again. Tom Sandoval, work out new information. Like just insert it.
Put
like
it into one thing so that they have to
So
write
they
about
have
it.
to read it, like one of those ad libs things when you were a kid or something.
That's what I'm going to start
Yeah,
doing. I'm going to
yeah.
spill tea and talk about things I care about all in
Yeah.
one. So that
That's
was
amazing that you went to Capitol Hill.
It was absolutely incredible. I was so nervous. I did a congressional briefing and
Are you serious?
I literally had a script. And when I got up there, I just like threw it out the window. I was like, we're just going to like speak
Yeah.
from the heart here.
Oh
And
my God.
in that moment, because I was praying to God again,
Yeah.
obviously. And my dad being like, I need you to take over because my mind and my mouth, I can tell are not, because I'm so nervous. And it was just so, like I got to enjoy that moment. So often I do things and I'm like, because you were so nervous and treating it
Yes.
like a to-do list,
Yeah.
you now don't look back on that and go, what an incredible experience.
Yeah.
And I
Or you
look
just kind
back.
of black out when you're doing it because you're
Exactly.
so nervous and you're like, I did it. Did it go okay? Did I say something stupid or something like that?
Right.
I always pray and I always say, God, it's that one that from Course in Miracles. God, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say and to whom? And I just say that like 3 times and then like, and it literally, then I'm able to be present and then the stuff just comes out of my mouth and I don't have to like,
Oh
think so
wow,
much.
that's
I
beautiful.
love. Will
yeah.
you text that to me?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's
Wait, do you
great.
want me, are you sure you want me to text it to your voice note?
No, I want you to text it. I want you to text it. I'm going to screenshot it. And then my relief of the week, and I'm not trying to be cheesy, but
Yeah.
is having you here on
Oh
the
my
podcast.
God.
I've been looking forward to this. So I'm so happy to have you.
Thank
so that's
you.
how our ache and
Okay.
relief works.
Does anyone else have one? Or is it just the.
Wait, if you want to
sure?
wait, we usually just go through it quick.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
have your ache
No, I
and
have
relief,
a
Easton?
yeah. My ache is gonna be, and I feel like I'm saying the name right, but it's Lee.
Lolita?
It's the dolphin though. Lee.
I don't know the dolphin. Are you talking about Miami Seaquarium?
Yeah, Miami-Dade County. So there's it's dolphin Lei''I.
Okay.
And it's been in this aquarium. It's not even running right now. So Dade County, they are saying that they have to either rebuild it or destroy it. It's not even open for public. So this dolphin is just swimming in a dirty aquarium,
Oh my God.
and it has been in there since 1988.
Okay, well, we
And
need to do something about that.
Yeah, so that is my ache of the week. So let's all try to do something about that.
We're going to do something about that.
And then Brynn. I mean, even
Oh,
more beautiful
okay.
in person,
So-
can I say?
oh, you're so-
Issa wants to know if you'll move into his 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a
Are you
Chili's gift
ambitious,
card.
baby?
What, yeah?
He's very ambitious.
I got you.
Ambitious.
Yeah, I got a Chili's gift card. Let's run it up.
I'm an Olive Garden girl, but I'll do it.
Oh.
All
All right, I guess he can splurge.
I'll splurge a little bit. Don't got the gift card there though.
Maybe now that you've shouted them out on the podcast, they'll send you one.
Shout out Olive Garden,
Yes.
so I can take Brynn somewhere. See, now we got it going.
Somewhere nice.
Hey.
Yes.
So there's
Jess,
mine.
what's yours?
My relief is love that you're here, Brynn. But my relief is that the writer's strike is over. So
I
the
did see that.
Is it officially? I thought it was. Is it tentative or did they do a?
No, it's
proper deal?
over.
It's over?
The WGA and
Oh,
the
thank God.
AMPTP came to an agreement yesterday.
Good.
So that's over. I'm
Hey.
so excited.
I'm so thrilled about this.
Oh
This is
my
great.
gosh, I'm so excited. So happy for the writers. That's the relief. And my ache is I went to Ed Sheeran on Saturday. That's not my ache. Ed Sheeran was incredible. So much swag, by the way. Did you guys know? Like
That Ed Sheeran has swag?
So
he's sexy pants.
swag.
Yeah,
No.
he's
He's swag.
Yeah.
But people, I was on the floor throwing elbows like no one's business at an Ed Sheeran concert. It was the most wild thing I've ever experienced. Beer bottles were being thrown. Like Ed Sheeran. Acoustic on loop. Ed Sheeran. And people were like, you could not, like if you did a little elbow and try and get ahead of someone, they would throw you back.
Oh my God.
It was
Oh,
wild.
no.
Where's this at again? You said.
This was at SoFi,
Oh,
and
wow.
this was on
GA?
Saturday. This was
General
on
admission?
the floor. Yeah,
There
this
it
was
is.
like on the floor.
No, that's like paid. SoFi doesn't have GA.
It was on the floor. It was like right in front of the stage.
Yeah,
So people
that's
were
mosh
like,
pit shit.
yeah.
I was
That's
throwing
so
around.
fun.
Well,
Yeah, I
I'll
used to
get
do
you
that when I was
going.
there. Yeah.
It was wild. I was not expecting that. It was hilarious, but wild. So anyway, that's my ache and relief.
That's
How
fun. I
about you,
love it.
Bren?
Okay, my relief, well, being here is now like, yes, I would agree. Being here is a huge relief. Thank you. I mean, seriously, thank you. I am honored. My other relief would be taking my goddaughter to school. I've been doing the school drop-offs, pick up and drop off, and I really, really enjoyed that. It's just so cute, and like I love the little school and the kids in their uniforms, and they run. It's so sweet. I actually have my pass, and I have to give it back. Like I have my family pass.
Oh my gosh, that is so cute.
Do you walk her in? Like,
Yeah, they let. Well, she's a little bit older, so like I don't get to go like all the way into the classroom. But but I'm like it's like all the other SUVs, and I get out, and I wore these things for pickup. And I'm like this, I look like I'm like fucking
Yes.
with like my bra showing in the back. I'm like, hi, honey, mommy's here. And then I treat her friend, who's my best friend from college, my freshman year college roommate. I'm still friends with her, and I'm the mother now of her goddaughter. But I always then I treat her like she's the nanny, and I'm like, can you take the bag?
That is hysterical, and I freaking love this story.
So that's my
Your relief.
My relief.
What's
My
like putting
ache-
a bee in your bonnet? Anything?
My ache this week. I regret that I didn't like really shoot my shot with Tyler.
you didn't?
We hung out afterwards, but I didn't like hardcore shoot my shot. Because here's the thing: when I actually think like I'm the biggest flirt in the world, and I can be like da 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 da. And actually might actually like someone when I start to get a little quiet.
Oh.
And I don't. Oh yeah, I get very like quiet, and I'm not like, hey, what's up, big dick? Like, I'm not. When I actually like might like someone, I'm like, oh hey, what's up? Like, hey dude. Like I'm like kind of turn into a tomboy.
Yeah.
And I get a little shy. Yeah. That's
Why didn't you do drinks and dinner? Something that could be loosey
we had a
goosey.
flight. Oh no, we
Okay.
did drink a lot. We drank heavily.
You
And
drank
after-
heavily.
Yeah. And
Yeah, day drinking is so fun.
that's the
But
best
did you
part
get his
about it.
phone number?
Yeah.
Yeah. He asked me for my phone number.
You should have cut your
dude,
pant
you-
pockets.
You're good.
You
Is he
should
in
cut
LA?
your pant
No,
pockets.
no,
You should
Florida.
cut your pant pockets.
You should do what?
I said you should have cut your pant pockets.
Oh my god!
Tie
I wish. I should text him that like, hey, do you have scissors? You want to cut my pant pockets? He's gonna be like, he's in construction.
Oh, he might have a
That
knife on him.
is so hot.
Yeah.
Okay, so you send him a message. Where does he live?
He lives in Florida.
He does?
He lives in Florida. Yeah.
Weird.
That's not a
I
long
think
flight
he has
for
a
you.
place
Come on.
in New York.
What
Okay.
a random place to live.
Okay, well
And
now he knows.
Now
there
he
we go.
knows.
What's his name again?
Tyler.
Tyler, slide into
Cameron,
her
right?
pant-
Tyler Cameron.
I always call him Cameron. I think his name's Tyler though.
I guess we'll find out.
Look, I don't care what his name is.
I don't think he'll care what you call him either.
Yeah, right.
I love it. I had the best time with you.
Thank you, my love. Thank you.
for
Me too.
coming. Thank you
for
guys
having
for listening to another episode of the Give Them Lala podcast. I hope you enjoyed. I know you did, and I will catch you next week.
Woo, gosh. We had an intense first start to this episode. Brynn is not shy at all, and neither is Lala. But I know I've been all excited all week knowing that Brynn would be on the podcast and Lala getting to interview and talk with her. I'm like a kid in a candy store. Brynn is one of my favorites from RHONY. I kind of love them all in their own way. I'm really enjoying Sai, I think the most, but I truly just love them all. Brynn, Uba, Jenna, Aaron, Jessel. I think the group is dynamic. It's a lot different than the original RHONY, But I love this group. I think they are a wonderful cast. And I love watching them every week interact with each other and just that bond that they have. What are you guys thinking about this new cast? Are you loving them? Are you not so fond of them? Do you miss the old RHONY? Let me know down below. But now, there was some dirty talking going on, and hell, some people are more open about talking about anything and everything. That is totally who Lala is, and Brynn is just that type of girl too. That is like one thing I love about Lala. She just doesn't hold back about anything. And Brynn seems like she is one dirty little girl, and I mean that in a loving way. More power to her. When we started talking about the breast milk, I actually was like, damn, what is this? Because I know one day I will need to learn all about kids and breast milk and all of that good stuff when pregnancy comes, because we do plan to have at least one kid, at least. But literally, I had just seen a video, no joke, on breast milk and how this one YouTuber uses it literally to cure everything. She even cured a sty in her mother's eye with breast milk. So I wanted to take just this little bit of time right now to show you the quick short from a fellow YouTube creator and her theories and experience with her liquid gold. So let's take a peek and make sure to check out her link down below in my description.
We use breast milk for everything in our house. I'm not even joking. You got some eczema? Put on some breast milk. This stuff is liquid gold for a reason. Got a cut, got a scratch? Breast milk. You got a bug bite? Hello, breast milk. It's gonna fix it. We even put it in my son's bath. It's great for eczema, baby acne, diaper rash, you name it. This stuff is golden. When I make my son purees, hello, breast milk, great way to get some extra nutrients in there. Once I even made foam out of it, that was weird. And I'm not even kidding, my mom had a really bad sty in her eye once, and I convinced her to add a drop of breast milk. It was gone the next day. If you haven't hopped on the breast milk train, now's the time to do it.
Brynn has been through a lot, and she has really opened up on RHONY about her life and just how she had it tough growing up and just how much strength she has now from it all and how much better she has created for herself from just her past events in her life. And it broke my heart that for her grandmother's wishes not to be respected, especially at her final stage in life, that really, really hurt. I know that Brynn, you could just see it on her face. She was just in pieces about her grandmother not being where she wants to be. I know that has to really, really, really hurt her tremendously. And just knowing that her grandmother was not put to rest the way she wanted to be. I had a similar experience with my grandmother's sister not being laid to rest where she wanted to be. And after a very long battle, my grandmother and her sister's kids were able to lay her to rest with my grandfather and the rest of the family like she had asked from the very beginning. It was a big relief for my family, especially my grandmother, now being able to go visit her husband and her sister all in the same spot and being there and knowing that one day she will be with them all as well. We all go through grief and loss in our own ways, and when other people make it hard for us to grieve, it really can put more through the grief process for us and make it worse grieving. And I don't think that's right, especially when people don't follow through with that person's last wish. I think that is just heartbreaking in itself. And to know that her grandmother is in a storage unit, oh, I felt so bad for her. It literally brought me to tears. I was emotional just listening to her talk about it because I know it's hard. It's so hard. But she seems like she is one hell of a strong individual. And she also has like this outer shell where She seems like the type, she isolates herself when she's overly emotional or upset about something so that others can't see. And sometimes just being vulnerable is a way of seeing who is really there to love and support you at your most vulnerable stages in life. And I know it can hurt too, because when you allow people in and they use that against you or they hold it against you, you can get very hurt by just being vulnerable. But you'll never know who's really there for you unless you let some of that vulnerability go. I like Brynn just the way she is. I just hope for her she can find the happiness she so deserves. Brynn's grandmother sounds like a peach. And I honestly, like I said, I was tearing up a lot during this podcast because it made me think about my grandfather who's no longer with us and just how much I love and cherish my grandparents. And I'm so lucky to still have my grandmother in my life at her age of 95. Man, she is a riot. Just the absolute most amazing grandmother ever. I've been truly blessed to have her. And when they were talking about how Brynn got emotional before her grandmother passed or like before her dog passed, that always gets to me too. I can totally relate to her. I don't know why our minds will go there, but I honestly fear the day that I will lose my grandmother. Not to mention my cat too. It's something like has to happen one day, but I think with my grandfather's passing and losing him, it was so sudden and unexpected. That drove a nail hard right through me. And I worry because just as much as he meant to me, my grandmother means to me. And I've had her for now 13 more years than I had him. And I'm extremely close with her. We live on the same property. My cousins always say that I'm the lucky one because I have her here. But I feel like this is my time to spend with her before I no longer have her anymore. And I literally, I dread that day. Though I know one day it's going to happen, I dread it. And I worry. Everybody worries. But one day I know that's going to have to happen and I dread it. I do have a loving support system. I have an amazing boyfriend. I have amazing parents. But anyways, enough about me. We will definitely be doing some more lives now that I have a new laptop, and we can just get to know each other, learn about each other's experiences, and just have that sense of community together. And I cannot wait for us to come and enjoy lives together. That is something I cannot wait to do with you guys. But anyways, they did get to talk a little bit about what Brynn did and what she went to school for, all of that. So one thing I do want to know from all of you, what was your dream job as a child? And when you got older, did you change it up or did you stay the same? If you changed what you ended up doing in life, what are you doing? I love getting to learn more about you guys, and it's just perfect question with this whole episode to get to know each other. So let me know down below. Another thing I related was being told that you might be going through something now, but there are so many people out there that don't have that love and support. And I have my family and friends that some people don't have. And it makes me feel blessed and lucky. But like Brynn and Lala were saying, sometimes you just have to think, I might be going through something right now, but there are other people that are going through way worse. And we just got to keep our head up and know that we are lucky to have what we have. Now, this is when they went into RHONY and the whole cast, and we got into all the Housewives stuff. I agree with Lala that it just felt so natural, this new cast coming together. It felt like they've been doing this for a long time, and it was just the perfect fit of women. I agree that I love their bond and just how far they've all come this whole season. And I was ready for Ubah and Aaron's fight and everything that happened. I know nothing in life is perfect, and there's those moments that actually bring people closer, and sometimes it could bring people further apart, but I really felt like this moment that Uba and Aaron were having on vacation would actually maybe bring them closer, but it doesn't seem from everything that Brynn was telling us that it got any better. I do know that they just shot the reunion, and I got the first looks for their reunion outfits. Now, if you know me, I love fashion, so I'm going to give you guys a chance to check out RHONY's reunion first looks. Let's check them out. Damn, these women are looking good. They're all very stylish. But who is your favorite? Whose outfit do you love the most? Which one do you think is kind of outrageous? And what outfit do you think would be something you could pull off? Let me know down below in the comments. Are you excited for this reunion? I now am. Knowing that there might be a little friction, I'm kind of excited to see, but I do hope that they can get over this. I know just hearing about the drama makes it interesting to see what's going to happen these last couple episodes. Now, back to the Aaron and Uba thing. I agreed with Aaron that, you could always get someone back for a little prank. But what Aaron did by taking Uba's phone, that's just not something you do. It's not the same as Uba pushing Aaron into the water kind of prank. I think with Uba, she is very close to her family, and in certain cultures, it's not uncommon for their parents to be checking on their adult children, especially in her position as a single woman in a big city like New York City. I get that. I also get they were on vacation and there was crew and the cast, but that still doesn't matter to certain families. They are going to check up on her and see how she is, and Aaron has to kind of think of it in that sense. What if this was one of her kids calling her to check in with her or her husband? I think she needs to put it in that kind of a perspective. She would not have liked it if someone took her phone and she was not able to contact her family. I also don't agree with Uba snatching the glasses off of Aaron's face. I can understand, though, seeing red and snapping and not knowing what you're doing in that moment because you have so much built up anxiety, adrenaline, you're in the heat of the moment, and you just go red. I have had those moments like that in my life, and it's hard. It's extremely hard to control, but then you try not to put yourself into those kind of situations and positions where you are going to have that happen. It is tough, though, because it can be unexpected as well. I really think, though, that these two can sit down and try to understand what each other felt during this whole situation and both take kind of responsibility for their actions and all of that, because I think each one was wrong in a sense, where Aaron was wrong taking the phone, but then Uba was also wrong with the snatching of the glasses and all of that. Uba is a beautiful lady. I think she is a powerhouse, like Brynn said. She is a force. She's larger than life. She's just gorgeous, and I love her personality. And I'll tell you this, I personally would not want to do 20 rounds of fighting with Uba. Nope, I'm good. Then they kind of talked a little bit about Jessa and how she canceled for Watch What Happens Live with Andy last Wednesday, and then how Brynn got called instead, which, by the way, Brynn killed it on Watch What Happens Live. If you have not seen that, go check it out. But then Jessa found out that Tyler Cameron was going to be there, and bam, there she was. She acted like it was no big deal that she just showed up. That had me laughing. Oh, boy. But I was kind of sad to hear about Lala's ache of the week being that the bloggers and tea channels cared more about what she said on an Amazon Live rather than her working and doing this amazing thing in Washington with the Humane Society with the Cosmetic Act. She was there to urge members of Congress to pass the Humane Cosmetics Act, which is the legislation that would end new cosmetic testing on animals in the United States and prohibit the import and sale of cosmetics in the United States that have been newly tested on animals elsewhere in the world. To me, I thought what she was doing in Washington was much more incredible than what she said on an Amazon Live. I think her being in Washington was way more impactful than what she had to say. Let's just put it that way. I will give it to the Ashley Reality Roundup, who she has a blog site, and she did an incredible job highlighting what Lala did in Washington. And I will actually link her article down below for everyone to go check out. I'm also going to highlight the few IG posts that Lala made during her trip to Washington, so that way you guys can see all of that as well. But honestly, when I heard that everyone was talking about this Amazon Live, I was like, first off, this is so 2 weeks ago. And did you guys even see what happened? She literally had no idea what even happened between Tom and Rachel. Jessica had to fill her in during the Amazon Live, and Lala was just answering a fan's question about what she thought about it. It was stupid, in my opinion, and so many people seemed, well, just butthurt that she even talked about Scandoval, let alone Rachel, but she was answering a fan's question. You know what? Let's just take a look at it. I have the clip. I always do her Amazon Lives here, so if you love seeing Lala's Amazon Lives and all the little drama she does get to talk about in her Amazon Lives, check it out here on my channel. But let's take a look at the clip so you guys can decide for yourself. And after the clip, I am going to highlight the DC trip. So here we go.
World globe. What is it?
I think it's like isn't it a disco ball?
A disco ball?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
It's shaped in a sphere, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Allie asks, what were your thoughts on Tom calling Rachel thirsty for blocking him after he posted his birthday message on her IG?
Oh, I saw that.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What happened?
He commented on her Instagram post of whatever and said, "Happy birthday, Rachel. I hope whatever life is treating you well." And then Rachel screenshotted it and posted it on her story.
For what reason?
Just to put like blocked and put like an X through his face or something.
Well, I see that the mental health facility really helped her. She's just come so far. She's just so removed from this world. You know, I really tried, dude. Rachel, I really tried. And you are just beyond, like, helpless. I've been off the gram. That's why. I don't know what's going on. I can't believe she did, like, the X through his face and blocked. Like, honey, we've moved on. That happened 500 years ago, right? And if you had something to say, you should have strapped on your ovaries and you should have come on the show after you blew everyone's world up and you should have addressed it. But instead, apparently all you learned from your time away is that you get on social media. See, here's the difference between you and me. Is I'm willing to go toes on the gram, on Twitter, on Threads, on Facebook, and then when I see you, we're still going to go toes. You don't know how to do that because you're a coward. And that's the dumbest thing I've heard all day. Anyway.
Oh, sweating.
Are you?
Yes.
Anyway, moving on. Gosh, that Rachel talk got me real heated. I feel like I'm back to Send It to Daryl days, which no one wants to see that version again. That was very intense, very chaotic. And I made myself very tired, you know? After like a few months, I was like, you know what? I need to hibernate after this. It was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Every morning I felt like someone was putting batteries into my back and I was turned into the Energizer Bunny. I don't know where I got all the strength. Why do I look so chic? I look like a New Yorker with this, right?
Yeah.
Like I should be attending prep school for like Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, of course.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. And last, the little bit that we have left of the podcast was Easton's Throne, which was regarding a dolphin who on Monday, the Miami Seaquarium announced that this poor dolphin who had been there for 35 years was successfully moved to the SeaWorld in San Antonio, Texas. And they say that he will be living with other dolphins of his same species there. And they plan for him to spend the rest of his life there. There's a lot more to this story, which I'm not going to get into, but I will link an article down below so you guys can check that out. I also thought it was so cute that his rose of the week was that Brynn was there. He was a flirt. Oh my God, he was so cute flirting with Brynn. It melted my heart, not gonna lie. And I hope that they can enjoy the Olive Garden. Olive Garden, send Easton a gift card, please, so he can take Brynn out. They want the free breadsticks and salad. Come on now. Now, Jess, her whole ache this week was that she had gone to an Ed Sheeran concert, which honestly, I kind of find it insane, but yet funny at the same time, because I went to a concert on Friday. I went to Kasky and Yellow Wolf, and her experience that she had at Ed Sheeran was completely different than my experience, and I was at a rap concert. Well, I'll tell you this. When you have like I hate to say it like this, but like the teeny boppers that want to see their, oh my God, my crush, she's so hot kind of person on stage, you're going to get those girls out and be like, hell no, I ain't giving up my spot for you. Get the hell out of here. Where like at the concert I went to, we all were having fun, jumping around. I had the girl in front of me, like, she apologized, no joke, I think at least 15 times for bumping into me. And I just kept saying to her, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because we were all just having fun, dancing, jumping around. At one point, Kasky got the whole crowd to get down to the floor, like squatting. The whole arena was on their knees, squatting. And we all jumped up and jammed out, had so much fun. That's the kind of concert people want to go to. They don't want to go to a concert where you're getting elbowed and looked at and like, no, bitch. I can never. That's like a Justin Bieber concert for me. No, thank you. Sorry. And I'm not a fan of Justin. At all. I'm sorry if you are. Listen, we all like our different tastes of music. I get it. But I can see why that was her ache of the week. Her rose was that the writer's strike ended, which congratulations. They actually came to an agreement. There's a whole new contract being put in place with stipulations, all of that good stuff. Now, I had to think what my rose and thorn was for this week. And my thorn was knowing that my poor grandmother went to the doctors. It was a normal checkup, but they gave her a flu shot and then the Pfizer shot at the same time. And just seeing her the next day not feel good, and she just looked so miserable. I felt so bad for her. I also heard that my bestie wasn't feeling good either, and she's been really sick. So Miranda, my peach, I love you. I hope you feel better soon. And if you guys like K-pop, you're a big K-pop music fan, my girl Miranda is the girl for you. She has an awesome channel here on YouTube. She gives all the latest hits, all the greatest hits of K-pop scene. She talks about what's happening, all that good stuff. Anything and everything K-pop, that is her channel. So I will link that down below for you all to check out. Let her know that Sunshinery sent you. It'll melt her heart. But she is really just an amazing creator. And even though she's sick, she's still over there pumping out content for all of her subs. I'm like, girl, take a break, rest, enjoy it. But she loves what she does. And I would love for you guys just to go check her out. Now, Brynn's relief for this week was doing the drop off and pick up for her goddaughter. Oh, that was so adorable. And it's those moments that we will cherish. And I found that was just so humbling and it was so adorable. And so that was the rose, excuse me. That was the rose of her week. The relief was that she didn't actually take her shot with Tyler Cameron. What? Which she was so flirty with him on Watch What Happens Live. I think that just comes natural. It's like her flirty personality self. But to know that she didn't keep flirting afterwards, and she even said it too. She did say that she gets more shy when she actually likes somebody. And I just think that was kind of cute. And hey, Tyler, if you're listening, she actually dug you. That's why she was a little shy afterwards. Hit her up for us. Maybe, go on a date. Check it out. Brynn's awesome. Let me know, though, what your rose and thorn was this week down below. And what was your favorite part of this podcast with Brynn? All right. I hope you all enjoyed this as much as I did. I will be seeing you very soon because guess what? I just need to finish listening to the Sandy Balls podcast. That's what we're going to call it. Sandy Balls. And I will be putting that out for you guys so we can just check it out together. And I'm going to try not being so judgmental and biased, though I have no issue calling his ass out. We all know that. I just want to give it an honest shot for us all. And I'm going to give you my commentary, of course, all of that great stuff. But be ready to check that out and let me know what you think about it. It'll be up here right after this one. So after you listen to this, go check out Tom Sandy Balls podcast here on my channel as well. I will catch everybody on the flip side and hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.